Right now, your business might feel scattered, reactive, exhausting, like every single week is draining you. Like a little side hustle that you're giving pieces and scraps of time instead of a full-fledged business that you're running as such. It's probably because it's missing direction. You don't need more hustle or more heart. You need a plan worth acting on.
Welcome to The PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in.
Having goals isn't good enough. I know, that's not what you've been told. You've been told to set big business goals, to write them down, visualize them, begin to embody them, whatever that means. But here's the problem. Most goals, they're way too vague to actually drive revenue and create change inside your life and your business. They are things like help more people, make a difference, serve customers with excellence. They sound good, but they don't tell you what to do on Monday morning or Thursday evening when you crack open your laptop to work on your business. And that's why most small businesses stall. Elusive, non-specific goals don't grow businesses. They quietly kill them. Because relying on goals instead of a clear mission and a defined treatment plan, it's a leadership problem. And your business is most likely missing one thing: a clear, compelling treatment plan. Now, many business coaches will call this a mission statement, but we're talking in clinical terms here. So we're going to call it a treatment plan. And getting this right, having a treatment plan that is clear and specific, it's the difference between building a business that succeeds and lasts, generates multi-millions of dollars of revenue and supports your family, and a business becoming part of the 1 in 4 small businesses that close their doors in the first year. Because without a treatment plan, you're doing what I see clinicians do every single day when they step out of the exam room and into entrepreneurship. You're guessing, you're winging it. You're trying things at random and trying really hard to figure it out. You're working harder. And in launching your business, you're feeling really busy, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Today, I'm going to show you how to fix that.
You know that connection is one of my core values. So when I saw that Sermo created a new space for APPs specifically, I jumped at the chance to join. I joined because it's a space built specifically for PAs and NPs, a community where I could connect with providers who actually get it. I was drawn in by the opportunity to share insights, hear real stories, and honestly, also by the chance to earn a little extra money through surveys. And let me tell you, it's been worth it. In less than a year, I've made over $1,000 just by sharing my expertise in answering surveys. But beyond the income, the biggest value of the Sermo APP community has been realizing that I am not alone. Seeing what others are going through, whether it's burnout, work-life balance struggles, or even clinical challenges, and celebrating their successes. It has made such a difference in how I approach my career. If you're looking for a reliable additional income stream and a vetted community of like-minded providers, Sermo is where you need to be. It's the best place to learn about trends, see how others are doing, and make strong connections. Sign up today using the link in the show notes and join me inside this community of clinicians. And you'll even get a $20 bonus just for joining. Because in medicine, we're stronger together.
Here's what happens a lot of the time. The business looks good from the outside. You've got a product, a website, even a few customers. Maybe you have some intermittent revenue coming in. But when you x-ray the business and really dive deeper, cash flow is inconsistent. Your energy as the CEO, founder, or creative director is drained. And it feels like you're making decisions kind of at random. What's happening here is not a motivation problem because all of the entrepreneurs that I know are highly motivated to solve a problem, help people find and fill a gap. What's happening when you feel that energetic drain and you feel all over the place and it feels really confusing and overwhelming, it's because you don't have a clear, specific, and compelling treatment plan. Let me show you what I mean. Let's just imagine you're on call for urology. You get a page and they say, "Hey, it's Dr. Murphy from the ER. I've got this guy. His name is Frank Furter. He's sick as shit. 32-year-old male, septic, Fournier's on CT. He's circling the drain. We've got him on fluids. We've got the pressors on. We've got this guy tanked up." You pull the patient's chart and you see that it's bad. Just like the ER attending said, tachycardia, hypotensive, toxic, sepsis with end organ damage. Sick as shit was really a generous description for how this guy is doing. This patient is circling the drain. When you head to the ER to admit Frank Furter to the hospital, you don't say, "Okay, Frank, I guess we're going to get you upstairs at some point, maybe start some fluids. Eventually, someone's going to get around to calling urology and getting them to take some of this tissue off your scrotum in the operating room so that you can feel better soon." Because feel better soon is not a clear and measurable endpoint. However, if you walk into that room, do your history and physical, have a conversation with Frank and his family, decide that yes, of course Frank needs to be admitted, and then you say to him, "Frank, you're really sick. Our plan is to get you admitted and to the operating room as soon as possible, give you lots of fluids and IV antibiotics to treat your sepsis, to do a surgery in order to eliminate the source of your infection, which includes cutting the skin around your scrotum and everywhere we find that bacteria until we get to healthy tissue. We're going to do all of that in order to save your life." It's specific enough for the care team and the patient to take immediate action and make and execute a plan in order to achieve the objective. The objective here is to save Frank's life and likely also his testicles. A treatment plan that is super vague causes confusion. So you don't write in your note, "Problem number 1, poorly controlled hypertension, plan, make it better." Right? You write a goal of a specific endpoint that is measurable, that you can see how you're doing. In order to do this inside of business, you want to open what's called a story loop. If we want ourselves and our team and those around us to be united around a goal, a very specific, measurable goal, we have to open that story loop. A story loop can only be closed when you accomplish the goal or achieve the mission. The desire to close the story loop. Will Frank live? Will we save his testicles? Creates narrative traction. Narrative traction is the point in which we get interested in the story. If someone is telling you a story and they say something that creates narrative traction, you lean in. The other day, one of my girls at the office at the front desk said to me, "Hey, I have something to tell you about my recent vacation." And I was like, "Great, I love hearing about people's travel." And she was like, "We had to call the cops." And then I got busy seeing patients and she got busy doing her job, and I couldn't hear the rest of that story until the next day. And I was laying in bed that night thinking, did the cops get called on them? Did they call the cops on someone else? What happened? When you create narrative traction, people lean in and they want to know what happened and they want to be a part of the story and they want to solve the problem. And you're developing a treatment plan for your business or for patients for that matter, creating narrative traction, making people want to know what's happening, want to move forward, and alignment and productivity are going to increase because we get to work to close that story loop. I bet you're wondering if Frank Furter gets to keep his testicles, aren't you? If you wrote a story about how Frank, a guy named Frank, comes to the hospital and he wants to feel better, you'd lose people. They would have trouble understanding what feels better looks like, why Frank needs to feel better, and a story loop fails to open. However, if the patient or the hero in your story wants to save his testicles so he can go on to have children and be a kind, caring father, the one he never had, a story loop opens up in the mind of your audience, and the story starts to achieve that narrative traction. The listener leans in. They're invested. Will our hero break the generational trauma and keep his family jewels? Will Frankfurter overcome Fournier's, change his life, and become a father? Let's stay engaged while we find out. Most businesses fail here because they either don't have a mission statement at all, or they have a mission statement that's very vague. They fail because they don't have a specific treatment plan. And without a specific treatment plan, you don't know where you're going, how you're going to get there, how you measure success, or what actually matters today and what you need to do now in order to move you towards those specific economic endpoints. So everything feels important in business, and it can feel very distracting, and you can be pulled in many different directions. And when everything is important, nothing is actually important. Businesses need a specific treatment plan, and I'm going to tell you how to build yours next. A strategic and effective business treatment plan, one that actually works, has three things. It has 3 economic outcomes, a deadline, and a reason. Your economic outcomes cannot be grow the business or help more people. They have to be specific and measurable, and they have to be economic in nature. Let's be honest with ourselves. Impact without revenue, that's a hobby. Revenue is the oxygen that your business needs in order to breathe and survive. So these economic outcomes have to do with making money, and they look like increase revenue by 30%, sell X units of Y product, enroll 50 clients into our coaching program, add 500 email subscribers, secure 3 paying partnerships. If it's not measurable, specific, and economic in nature, it's not an economic outcome, and it's not actionable, as in you can't take action to move your company towards it. The next thing that your treatment plan needs is a deadline. Deadlines create urgency, and urgency creates action. Think about it. Someday doesn't move anyone, and trying to make Frank feel better with no deadline isn't going to help. But if you say, we need to get this guy to the OR before he requires pressor support and intubation, that is an urgency, right? We've created urgency in that story, but a specific deadline by the end of the month, by the end of the quarter, by June 1st, by the end of the year. Deadlines turn general ideas into specific goals that need to be achieved. And when you have a deadline, you then succeed or fail to achieve the outcome by the deadline. Dun, dun, dun. That sounds like stakes, right? You either do it or you don't do it. A goal of growing your business by 30% someday is not that helpful. But increasing sales by 30% before the end of the year has a specific measurable outcome, and it reminds you that it needs to be done urgently. The third and final thing that your treatment plan needs to include is a reason why. This is interestingly the part that so many people skip, and it's probably the most important. Because humans don't really rally around numbers, and 30% sales growth doesn't excite anyone. Economic outcomes are specific and necessary, and deadlines are a must-have to create that urgency, but neither of those things alone is super motivating. People care about meaning. Your because is the reason that people care and take action. It's the reason that motivates you. Just like you probably went into healthcare in order to help people, let's figure out the reason that you are running a business, the reason that you care, the reason that you keep going even when it gets hard. What is the evil that you are looking to cure the world of? Because everyone deserves, because no one should ever. Complete those sentences to figure out what your reason is, what the why is behind your business.
Are you confident you know where your next dollar should go? 403B, 457, HSA, or Roth? There are so many options. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming. A lot of providers aren't sure if their investment mix is optimized, if they're contributing enough to their investment accounts, or if they're paying too much in taxes. Meet Caleb Pepperday, a fee-only financial planner and founder of Advanced Practice Planning, LLC. Caleb helps PAs create a clear plan of action that allows them to fast-track their path to work optional living, all while keeping more of what they earn today. Caleb's process identifies the strategies that make the most sense for each PA situation and provides step-by-step guidance to put them into action. For our listeners, Caleb is offering a free one-on-one consultation where he will provide feedback on the steps you've taken in your own financial situation and if you're on track to achieve your goals. Caleb will also help you determine if your situation warrants needing to work with a financial planner or if you're on track doing it by yourself. Head to advancedpracticeplanning.com/FI to grab your free consultation time slot. These consultations are capped each week to keep turnaround fast. That's advancedpracticeplanning.com/FI.
Advanced Practice Planning LLC is a registered investment advisor in Montana and Pennsylvania. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Advanced Practice Planning LLC and its representatives are properly registered or exempt from registration. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. This advertisement is for informational purposes only and does not constitute individualized advice or a guarantee that you will achieve a desired result. All topics discussed in this podcast are the opinion of the podcast host and not of Advanced Practice Planning LLC or its advisors.
Think about a patient with hypertension. If you say, okay, Betty, let's get your blood pressure better. They nod, they leave, maybe they fill their prescription, maybe they take it sometimes, but nothing really changes. Meds are expensive and pharmacies are confusing, and integrating taking medication into your daily life and schedule takes time, focus, consistency, and effort. But if you say to your dear, sweet, hypertensive Betty, I know that you want to see and hold your great-grandbaby, to avoid the stroke that killed your mom, and to stay independent and not be a burden to your children. When your blood pressure is as high as yours has been these last 3 visits, you threaten your eyesight, your brain health, your kidneys, in which failure leads to dialysis, and your toes and your feet staying attached to your body. Taking this lisinopril each day is going to help you maintain your independence and keep you active and participating in the activities that you enjoy. Now, Betty cares. Now Betty goes to the pharmacy to get her meds. Now Betty is so much more likely to be compliant. Just like Betty and that emotional driver that made her think, yes, I think I do need to take this medication, your business needs that same emotional driver. All right, if you've been following along and nodding along, it's time to put paper to pen and use this formula to build your mission statement or treatment plan inside of your business. It goes like this. We will accomplish A, B, and C by D because of E, where A, B, and C are 3 specific measurable economic outcomes, where D is the deadline, and where E is because everyone deserves better or because no one should ever, and the reason. That's it. That's your treatment plan. Let me give you a real life example from the trenches of motherhood. My 9-year-old son wants a $430 baseball bat. Now, let me tell you, this kid has not 1, but 2 perfectly good bats that he could use all season long. They're working fine. He hit a home run this weekend with one of them. They're perfectly good bats. They are the right size. They are the right caliber. They are the right material. Whatever bats are made of, it's what they're made of. The bat in question, the $430 bat that he needs, it's a cosmetic upgrade of his current bat. Now, at our house, we don't do elective cosmetic upgrades to bats. It's the spring break edition. It has different artwork. So he tells me, I'd like this bat. And I say to him, that's so amazing. You can work to earn money to buy that bat on your own if you so desire, but Dad and I are not buying you that bat. So let's break it down. He has $100 saved from birthday money. The bat costs $430. He needs to save $330, and right now he's an unemployed 9-year-old with a baseball habit. His income earning potential is relatively low and includes $1 for unloading the dishwasher without being asked, $2 for vacuuming the house, $2 for cleaning up our entire 4-acre yard of dog poop, and the list goes on. So the economic outcome that he is trying to achieve and accomplish is to save $330 in the next 6 months. He has to do about $55 a month in order to get that milestone. So his treatment plan for his business, which is picking up dog poop, right? I will earn $330 by the end of August before school starts because I really want to hit bombs with my new baseball bat in time for fall ball. It's specific, it's clear, it's motivating. It says exactly what he needs to earn and by when. And guess what? He's taking action. In the first week since setting this mission statement and installing this treatment plan in his not business, he earned $24. I had to run to the bank on the way home from the clinic in order to get cash to pay him. His brother and sister, of course, want to earn money as well. So our kids are on commission at home. You work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. Interestingly, the kid with the specific goal, I want a bat by fall baseball, has earned nearly 6 times the money as opposed to his older brother and younger sister. It turns out that being on a mission, having a treatment plan with specific economic goals and a deadline motivates 9-year-old baseball players as well as it does 39-year-old CEOs. Because the story of a mission, the story of that narrative traction is compelling. So what is narrative traction? It's the difference between I should probably work on my business today and I have to see how this story ends. I have to see if we can accomplish these goals by this deadline. Will Frank survive his Fourniers? Will Betty meet her great grandbaby? Will Archer get the bat? Your business needs that same pull or push of motivation of the narrative traction. When you have a team, or you yourself as a team of one, are on a mission to accomplish something, and that something is clear and specific. 1, 2, or 3 economic outcomes by a deadline with a motivating reason. It makes you take action even when you don't feel like it. And it also helps you to focus so you take the right action at the right time so you can accomplish those 3 economic outcomes. Right now, your business might feel scattered, reactive, exhausting, like every single week is draining you. Like a little side hustle that you're giving pieces and scraps of time instead of a full-fledged business that you're running as such. It's probably because it's missing direction. You don't need more hustle or more heart. You need a plan worth acting on. You need a mission and a treatment plan that is compelling to you so you know what to do, and then you have the ability to measure that. Are you accomplishing that goal? The plan worth acting on and the action that results in revenue and impact in income, that's exactly the work that we do inside of the Clinician Entrepreneur Collective. It's our 8-week clinical rotation on how to run a business. It takes the clinical skills that you already have and translates them into entrepreneurial and business know-how. Inside of the Clinician Entrepreneur Collective, we put together a treatment plan so that you too can be a business on a mission. And we guide you how to translate your clinical knowledge into best practices and evidence-based business. It's not just a vague mission to make more money or help more people or make a difference. A real working treatment plan for your business has 3 economic outcomes: a deadline that creates urgency, and a reason that actually matters and motivates you. So your business can stop draining you and start supporting you. So you can make the impact on the client and also the income for yourself at the same time. So that you can build something that gives you more freedom, flexibility, and income. And ultimately gives you the ability to practice medicine electively. If that's what you want, the waitlist for Clinician Entrepreneur Collective is open. We start our next cohort on June 1st, 2026. Be sure to get on the waitlist using the link in the show notes or going to tracybingaman.com/waitlist. Because when the doors open, we move. Your business doesn't actually need more ideas. It needs specific leadership, clarity, and a plan. Because when you have a treatment plan, you don't have to work harder or hustle more or push harder or have more sleepless nights. You work strategically, intentionally, and on purpose. A treatment plan helps you to work smarter, to make a difference, and to move the needle inside of your business to achieve the things that matter in terms of impact for your customers and income for you. And that is how you build a business that actually works for you, where you don't feel like you're doing all of the work for it. And that is all for today, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The PA is In. That's all for today. This PA is out.
Congratulations, you've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.